DC, the jail here in Brooklyn, New York, for 13 months. So you subtract 13 months even from that, you're looking at something like 2 years, maybe 3 years at the end of the day. The judge knew that and still gave this sentence. I think if you're Sean Combs and his defense team, a hard day, but overall a win for them.
Arun Subramanian, the Indian-American judge, just gave Sean Diddy Combs a much lighter sentence than everyone expected. Diddy was supposed to face 10 to 20 years in prison, but the judge only gave him about 4 years, plus a $500,000 fine and 5 years of supervision after he gets out. Many people were shocked by this decision, saying it's a big win for Diddy's legal team.
If you're Sean Combs and his defense team, a hard day, but overall a win for them.
Prosecutors actually wanted more than 11 years, but Judge Subramanian decided to go much lower. In court, the judge said he understood how serious the case was, but also mentioned that Diddy had done some good things in his life. He told the victims that the court had heard their voices, and that Diddy still had to face the results of his actions. He was found guilty of taking people across state lines for prostitution. He was cleared of the heavier charges like sex trafficking and racketeering. This whole thing left a lot of people wondering if Diddy got special treatment, because this sentence was way lighter than what most people expected. Judge Arun Subramanian was appointed to the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York in 2023, becoming the first Indian American to serve on that court. He graduated from Columbia Law School, clerked for Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and had extensive experience in complex civil litigation and public interest law. However, his handling of the Sean Diddy Combs trial made him controversial. Many critics questioned his judgment after sentencing Diddy to only 4 years, arguing it was too lenient given the scope and duration of the offenses. Some accused him of bias or corruption, suggesting his sentence favored the defendant over the victims, sparking public debates and conspiracy theories about whether his decisions truly served justice. At first, some public reactions shortly about Diddy's trial judge. Here you can see one saying, well, we all want to know how much P. Diddy paid the corrupt judge Arun Subramanian to have only given him 4 years in prison. What kind of verdict or sentence was that for all that this criminal has done? And saying the judge is fake. Not only that, another person posted, another corrupt judge. How much did Diddy pay him? Arun Subramanian is an immigrant, anti-white POS. Now you all see why America is being invaded by trash. That, I completely agree with that, and even more context actually given by this comment saying he is Indian. What more would you expect? Read up on Indian culture. They are extremely corrupt. I think this person wanted to mean that. Even another comment saying, hold up, he only got 4 years? Prosecutors only wanted 11 years? What is this justice system? The simple fact he did this for decades alone deserves life without parole. So as you already know, how people now digging with the judge, what he is made of, all the corruption now coming up by the concern. Here you can even see Cassie Ventura's makeup artist and eyewitness of this case, Mila Morales, also concerned about this issue, saying she was expecting even more. But what Judge Arun Subramanian did is actually so sad for her.
Sure is a very emotional day for you. What are your feelings at this moment after hearing the sentence?
Well, it's been a very, very stressful year for me just watching this all play out. And I really don't know what to think or feel about it. I'm just really disappointed as to, it's just a very sad day. I just feel very defeated, and I feel defeated for the victims that he's damaged so many lives. And I hope, like I said, I hope he's remorseful, and I hope he is sorry for what he's done to these people, because this is going to impact the rest of their lives.
So now the main point is that Judge Arun Subramanian already knows how many countless lives have been damaged by Sean Diddy Combs. If the judge sentenced him to a lower prison time, it would be an injustice to all the victims. But according to many people, the judge didn't think about that. They believe it's pure corruption. Some are calling it a corrupt judiciary. Another big point is that journalist Dennis Byron also commented on this issue. He said, Judge Arun Subramanian's rulings throughout the Sean Combs trial were very pro-prosecution in my opinion. And while some of the rulings might not have swayed the jurors' decision much, yesterday's denial of Mr. Combs' bond and the reasoning tells me he wants to be an activist rather than a fair jurist. This statement has fueled even more conspiracy theories about what's really going on. Now, Arun Subramanian himself is under public suspicion. People are questioning how much money he might have taken from Sean Diddy Combs. And what's even more controversial is that it's now being reported that Subramanian deliberately gave him 4 years, knowing that his prison time could be reduced even further.
Not what I expected, and this is why I say that. The probation probation report said anywhere from 70 to 87 months, much higher than the 50 months that the judge gave. And understand, and I'll try to break down the math as best as I can, the judge understands the math of how this all works. With 50 months in the federal system, you only do 85% of that. So you take away about 8 months or so, that's 42 months. And don't forget that Sean Combs has already been sitting in MDC, the jail here in Brooklyn, New York, for 13 months. So you subtract 13 months even from that, you're looking at something like 2 years, maybe 3 years at the end of the day. The judge knew that and still gave this sentence. I think if you're Sean Combs and his defense team, a hard day, but overall a win for them.
So the theory and logic prove all the things. Judge Subramanian actually helped Sean Diddy Combs. I am actually not saying that. The question and the opinion prove that. Who knows if any settlement was made between them or not, but what has happened is actually a concern. A corrupted, rooted person from Indian origin. Is that the reason a judge can be corrupted? Guys, let me know your opinion on that. Here's more proof. Attorney Jeremy Rosenthal is arguing that Judge Arun Subramanian was denied and broke the rule of federal judgment and even the government's expectation. You can hear the meaning. How much corruption was behind this sentence of Sean Diddy Combs?
That's kind of where a lot of the nasty fighting is are you an organizer? Are there multiple victims? Did you do this? Did you do that? Were there weapons involved? These things can sort of enhance, and you can actually get points taken down if you cooperate with the government, if you testify against a co-defendant. So Diddy's charge, when the calculation was done, the federal sentencing guidelines put him between 5 and 7 years. So even though the government's arguing for 11, and even though his lawyers are arguing for time served, I think that most people, most lawyers, most experts, when we looked at this, kind of felt like it was going to land between 5 and 7, maybe 4 and 8, if the judge sort of departs just a little bit on either side. So from that standpoint, it's particularly surprising. And on appeal, what Diddy's going to argue is he's going to say those guidelines were wrong. He's going to say those guidelines really should have had me at 2 or 3 years. That's standard stuff.
So that's the proof. Judge Arun Subramanian made a sentencing that actually helps Diddy. Just imagine, this might be the first time in history where a sentence meant to punish a criminal is now actually helping the criminal. The judge completely ignored the victims. If the judge really considered the victims, would he have given only 4 years? And now we're hearing that this 4-year sentence might be reduced even further to just 3 years. Who knows? Maybe later we'll even see Sean Diddy Combs getting parole.
Hold up. This dude, everybody knows this guy's guilty, right? We all know this. And he's getting off on under 5 years. And that's the baseline. That's as bad as it gets. That doesn't mean that he can get part of the sentence commuted. That doesn't mean that he can get out early on good behavior. This guy diddled for 30 years, and he's going to take a 4-year vacation. They did not say he is not eligible for parole. And for parole, you need to do 10% of your sentence. If he takes parole, he goes home next month.
I told you guys, Judge Arun Subramanian actually calculated everything. If he had done the same as the defense suggested, giving a lower sentence like 1 or 2 years, then they could say Diddy has already been in prison for 1 year, so only 1 year remains, and then Diddy would be home. So why didn't the judge do that directly? Because if he did, do you think the American public or the judicial system could accept it easily? That's why he tactically gave a sentence that looks like a long prison time on paper, but in reality, Judge Arun Subramanian made the sentencing to help Diddy, nothing else. Do you agree or not? Many experts think the same, that this was not a win for the victims or even the prosecution, but a win for Diddy's defense.
He should be pretty happy with his defense team, because I think the judge giving less than half of the prosecutor's recommendation and also less than what the pre-sentence report had said is a win for him. I do believe that 4 years is a win in this particular case.
And why wouldn't the defense be winning? Yes, officially they might have lost on paper, but strategically, when the judge is on Diddy's side, how can it not be a win for Sean Diddy Combs? Because at the end of the day, justice isn't just about the verdict. It's about who the system truly protects. And right now, it looks like the system protected Diddy more than his victim. So what do you think? Was this justice, or was this just another powerful man walking free under a different name?